couple of months ago, my son told me that one of my old drinking buddies had died, and it was a weird conversation because he'd said that it was, I think it was 2 or 3 months before he told me, and he said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you that such and such have passed away." And this guy was one of my drinking buddies, not one of my best drinking buddies, but just somebody that was there all the time when we went into the pub. So, passed a lot of bread with this guy, a lot of time, a lot of energy, just a lot of talking, chewing the fat, that kind of stuff. And it was really strange, like I've known a lot of drinkers over my life, and a few of them have passed away, a few of them have had illnesses and stuff, and passed away now. But I don't know, for some reason this one was just hit me kind of hard. It was for the next 5 minutes I'm talking to my son, or I'm listening to him. I'm not listening to him, I'm getting all these flashes of memory of stuff that happened in the pubs, and just all different types of people. I think he was kind of one of these conduits that knew everybody. There were certain people that you knew. You go into one pub and you knew one person. You go into another pub, you'd know somebody else, you'd have a drink with them. And I had a couple of best mates, but this guy knew everyone. He was what they call a townie. So he was from the town, and anyone in the town that that anybody who drank in the town he knew, right? So, but I was grateful. When I thought about it, for the next couple of days, it kept popping into my head, and I was just grateful for my own choices. The same thing happened. We're going to Ireland now in a couple of weeks, and the last trip, or two trips ago, we were driving almost into Ennis, and we had to pull over. The dogs were whining in the back. We hadn't let them out, and we had to pull into to let them have a wee. We pulled into this side road and into this field, let the dogs out, and all of a sudden this guy comes around the corner, and it was somebody I used to know. I was like, "Oh, Jesus, I fancy meeting you here," and he started talking to me about himself, and then he said to me, "Well, I've got prostate cancer now," Another one. It was shocked, but when I was thinking about it afterwards, again, I was grateful. Sometimes I think it's, you hear news when you need to hear the news. You hear this stuff when you need to hear it. Like I said, the guy who Sean told me about, that was somebody who passed away 2 or 3 months before, and he'd forgotten to tell me. And at that time, I needed a bit of not a boost. I'm not saying that is a boost for me, but it's, and then going down the track, and this guy comes out of nowhere. The point is that sometimes I help so many people. I help so many people who want to be helped, but they have to want to be helped. And there's certain people in your life that that no matter what you say to them, no matter what you do for yourself, you can't help other people. They don't want to be helped. They want to go down their own track. But that's not your responsibility. Even with my clients, I don't commit to them stopping drinking alcohol. It's not my responsibility if they don't stop drinking alcohol, right? That's down to them. My responsibility is to try and put them into the right frame of mind, right? Give them the right tools to move forwards, to help them to move forwards. Now, if they don't use those tools, if they, it's all down to whether or not you're going to put the alcohol into your mouth, and whether you're going to stop putting the alcohol into your mouth long term. So, I can feel sorry as much as I want, but it's not my life. I often get these smart comments saying, "Oh, cheers, I'm going to have a few beers now tonight and celebrate this and that," and it's like, I feel sorry for somebody who's coming onto a video about trying to help other people stop drinking, and they're talking about themselves stopping. They're talking about this bullshit, So I don't know. It's a weird situation. I feel sorry for people, but at the end of the day, it's their life, their body, right? So, when it comes down to it, these are otherwise intelligent people who are rationalizing their own behaviors. And until somebody, I wasn't forced into. I drank for over 30 years, so I'm no stranger to this, to the rationalizations, and to telling myself what I needed to hear at the time to carry on the drinking. And it wasn't until I really had to face into my own what I was doing as a father towards my son and encouraging my son to have a drink, that's when, it really changed the thing for me, and it started to force me to look at myself in a different way that I didn't fucking like, and once I saw myself as that thing that I had in my life that I held above probably anything else, or most of the things in my life, being a father, it was I think the most important thing that ever happened to me. Then that forced me to change things. So until somebody is forced to change, or until they get to the end and that's it, it's just done and dusted now, they've no opportunity to change. So, what are they going to do? Just be grateful for the change that you have. If you're thinking about this, hop into it, right? Hop into it with all that you can, because it is the best decision that I ever made. The best decision that I ever made in my life, by far. Like I said, my son was the best thing that happened to me, but it wasn't my decision, right? It wasn't for any man. It's like we have a bit of fun, and that's it. It's there. It's a big responsibility, but it's a different thing to actually standing up and making a tough decision that is going to be tough, that there's going to be a disconnect between who you are now and who you want to be. You might not even know who you want to be. That we talk about this, the alcohol identity. It's just a way of looking at things, a way of speaking about things that helps you to put a frame on things and to say, well, this is my alcohol identity. These are the habits that are in there. These are the beliefs and the values and the principles that I've been holding myself to, or that have been holding me into the habit. And this is how I'm going to get out of that. And it's a way of lumping that together and trying to make sense of it, right? That's the only reason why we teach that. It's just a way of looking at things. So anyway, look, if you want help, seriously, that we have a preparation module, right? So just check it out. Even if you're on the fence, it might change your mind. It might give you something. You never know where you're going to get the motivation to stop from, right? So check it out, have a look. It's free. And if you've got any questions at all that you want me to answer, any topics, I'm not going to cover the same stuff over and over again, but the more specific you are, the better. And I'm only too happy to make new videos. So take care of yourself. Like I said, click on the link down below. It's free. Just leave your name and email address. It's a couple of weeks to do the course. You can do it in a week. It's a part of our Habits Unplugged program. But there's no obligation to go forwards. We don't ask for a credit card. There's nothing like that, right? It's just take it, have a look, and see. We're trying to get you into that frame of mind of looking at what the future holds for you rather than what you're leaving behind in your past, because you're leaving fuck all behind in your past. I can tell you that now from experience, not only of myself, but from anyone else that I coach in this. So hopefully you can hear this, because my microphone ran out. Now, I'm not talking about this from the perspective of being happy that somebody else died, right? Far from it, right? I was kind of sad that this guy had passed away, even though I hadn't seen him in years. It's always a sad thing. I get sad about leaving places behind, old cars, I get sad about all kinds of different things, right? But people that you, like I said, you've shared part of your life with, that's very difficult to do, to go through this, but you have to use these kind of things as subjective lessons for yourself, or objective lessons for yourself. I did the same thing with my father when he died. I did the same thing with my dad when he went into hospital. It really helped me to look at my own life in a different way, look from his mistakes and see how I could change myself. In this, I wasn't learning anything from anybody else's mistakes. They passed away and that's it. And I changed a long time ago. But it's one of those things that you can really use to reinforce your own decisions, reinforce your own choices. And, you can regret somebody else's death. You can feel sad about somebody else's death, but also feel happy about your own decisions that you've made that have changed your life, and you've avoided that kind of thing. One of my favorite books was always Charles Dickens' The Christmas Carol, and for that reason was because this guy got a second chance and he was able to see his own future and see where he was going to go. That, for me, when I see people like that, these are people that are not around my age, or they're not too far, too much older than me. So that's where I would have gone. So I'm grateful for that. I tend to use that gratefulness a lot in my life, especially in the last few years. I go to bed at night thinking to myself, saying to myself the 3 things that I'm grateful for that day. Even if I've had a crappy day, I look for 3 things that I'm grateful for, and it makes me a little bit. It helps me to sleep a little bit better, and it helps me to put things into perspective. And I think that's what I'm talking about here. So I hope that helps you. All right, take care. Speak to you in the next video. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.